Let's deep dive into the forefront of modern conflict, where the clash between conventional and AI-driven cyber warfare is reshaping the nature of battles. This next report unravels the intricacies of digital warfare, exploring the tactics that define this new era, from the disruptive potential of deepfakes to the crucial role of defensive artificial technology. We're talking about AI technology, which stands at the forefront here. Take a look.
In a rapidly digitizing world, the threat of cyber attacks looms larger than ever. Recent reports reveal a staggering reality. Over 80% of Indian companies have fallen prey to cyber attacks. The surge in digital infiltration prompts a critical examination of the evolving tactics employed in the realm of cyber warfare. As nations grapple with the repercussions of cyber assaults, the battleground extends into the realm of artificial intelligence. Conventional cyber warfare tools such as viruses, malware, hacking, and disinformation campaigns are now evolving. Enter AI-driven cyber warfare, a paradigm shift that integrates artificial intelligence to amplify the potency of these operations. The marriage of algorithms in cyber tactics not only accelerates the execution, but also outsmarts traditional detection methods. AI's capacity to learn from data, automate operations, and adjust to changing circumstances makes it a glowing threat. While the threat landscape expands, there is a glimmer of hope in the form of defensive AI. Cybersecurity firms are leveraging artificial intelligence to monitor, detect, and combat potential attacks. This defensive prowess becomes paramount in safeguarding against the rising tide of cyber threats. Yet, as we explore the potential benefits of AI in conflict resolution, questions arise about its ethical dimensions and the possibility of fatal errors. Therefore, the idea is to navigate the delicate balance between progress and peril in this ever-evolving digital frontier. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
All right, for more on this, we are now being joined by Mr. Sachin S. Panikkar, the Chief AI Officer at Fulcrum Digital Inc., live from Pune. Welcome to the broadcast, sir.
Thank you.
So how do you perceive the role of artificial intelligence in shaping the strategies of nations engaged in cyber warfare, and what key advantages does AI bring to the table here?
With the advent of generative AI and the large language models, there is going to be an imperatively larger use of AI in cyber crime and cyber warfare. How to prevent that? There has to be international cybersecurity alliances and partnerships revolving around usage of AI. There has to be joint research and development in cybersecurity technologies. More typically, there will be decoys and honeypots that can be developed using generative AI. At the same time, while it puts a lot of technological advancement in the field of using AI in cybersecurity, it can be used for a lot of nefarious purposes as well, because generative AI has actually changed the ballgame. It has put the power of using AI in the hands of people who are not technical either. So you will see a lot of developments happening in terms of defenses being developed. At the same time, offenses also being happening, which is where generative adversarial networks will have to be used, which can be used to train. It can be used to programs wherein offensive measures can be for defensive measures can be put in place. There will be a lot of development that you will see in terms of you can use AI-related holographic entities, which can be used to simulate a potential cyber threat. So basically, how it can be used for a tactical procedures by nations and also private entities or corporates is that you can use the entire simulation. You can simulate the entire, let's say a typical how a cyber attack can be done. And if that can be done, you can be on top of it. You can use lots of unstructured data to be on top of it and be able to predict what's going to happen. there is a very small window between how a threat detection happens and how you can follow it up with a threat response. Okay, and if you miss that window, it is going to be difficult. So how you can automate your responses, the entire network, you can actually have AI agents infiltrate dark web forums and then also potentially lure attackers and be able to understand what are the potential moves and how we can, be able to prevent that. It's going to be a very interesting phase. If you look back, last year, before the advent of large language models, generative AI, doing things very conventionally. But with the LLMs, vision language models, vision language action models, and so on and so forth, it has opened up a plethora of opportunities. And when I say a plethora of opportunities for the attackers, as well as people who are trying to defend their corporate networks, the government agencies, etc., from the attacking mechanisms, that is where you will see a lot of development happening.
Yes, Mr. Panicker. Now, of course, the gap between threat detection and threat response, that gap will definitely get shortened with this use. This, of course, is one of the many uses. I also wanted to get your opinion on this. Cyber threats, they transcend borders. In your opinion, how can nations collaborate effectively to address the global challenges posed by AI-driven cyber warfare?
That's an interesting question. There's a lot of things that can happen. My personal take is if you can develop, let's say, an open source AI cybersecurity consortium, and bring in government agencies, private entities together, develop a cyber threat intelligence network, use blockchain technologies wherein various nations can participate. They can share all the knowledge that they have gathered, all the insights that they have on what kind of cyber attacks are happening and how you can prevent that. A joint development of, let's say, AI-driven cybersecurity tools, standardization of, let's say, cybersecurity protocols, AI cyber diplomats, and more importantly, an AI ethics and governance related framework has to be developed, across the globe. And there has to be an international level cybersecurity training and workforce development, in order to get there and prevent such kind of attacks, we have to have the right kind of workforce with the right kind of skills. And that can be done by collaborating, between nations. And now India can also play a very critical role. Developed nations have already kind of, when you look at, Russia, Israel, USA, etc., they have got very advanced technologies in place. But the developing nations, they are prone more to cyber attacks. How they can be built, they can be brought at par so that they can also contribute to this. And having global cybersecurity drills and exercises, and then you can have, let's say, training and workforce development. You can use augmented reality-based, simulation techniques and also training programs wherein you can actually impart trainings to various people who are engaged in this kind of, who are engaged in the threat and detection mechanism, how you can actually go forward and deploy your solutions and, be on the forefront of making changes happen. So at a lot of levels, nations will have to come together. This is for their own good, because if you isolate yourself, in this connected, interconnected world, if you isolate yourself and not share that knowledge, it's going to be detrimental, for your own safety, network safety and security, right, which is where everyone will have to come together, and share that knowledge.
All right, Mr. Panicker, thank you so much for joining in. That was Mr. Sachin Panicker, the Chief AI Officer at Fulcrum Digital Inc., live from Pune, joining us right here on World Business Watch. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.